Hello everyone, welcome back to Piofiore Faded Memories. I gotta be honest, I had to go back and look at the last video to remember what's happened in the last video. I'll be real with you guys, I've had a rough few days since I last recorded, so it all left my brain, but I'm refreshed now, okay? We learned some more about Chloe and the whole situation regarding his death, and like Marco sort of weighed in about how it's almost like, in a way, the mafia is responsible, which is kind of like, oh, well, maybe that's how Henry feels about it. The last video, we really just kind of got a lot of everyone else but Henry. Like, we only got to see him very briefly. Like, we even got a whole section about Roberto. Like, it was really focusing on everyone else in the last one, which, like, I get if it's the finale route as well as Henry's route. I have very conflicting feelings on that, because on one hand, I have been very interested to see what's gonna happen, and it has been fun, like, seeing all this stuff with the other characters, but I still feel slighted as an up-and-coming Henry fan that his route isn't, you know, as long as I thought it would be, but, you know, whatever. Anyways, it was such a peaceful day. I do remember saying that and being like, is it really gonna be a peaceful day or is something gonna go terribly wrong? Let's find out. Until the loud voices appeared. Oh yeah. The things are changing very quickly. You just sound like a child. Oh.
Buongiorno だよ.
You are, in fact, a child. You are Lon and Faye.
わかってるよ。今のはわざと間違ったの。
Buongiorno. Only you two today?
ヤンは留守番だよ。寝てたから置いてきたね。
Why are you here? Sleeping? It's already noon.
まあ、ヤンだからね。好きな時に起きて、好きな時に寝るよ。無理に起こすと人を殺しかねないよ。おさわり厳禁だよ。
That is very valid. I can't imagine him waking up early in the morning, living a healthy lifestyle. Oh, so what brings you two here? Have you come to play?
見学はもういいよ。今日はお近づきの印しに来たの。
Really?
そう、わかったらすぐ厨房化してね。
What you doing?
で、
Why are you here, Gil? Did I ever part ways with Gil? I'm like, wait a minute. I don't remember if I ever parted ways with Gil. Is that why you're here? No, okay. I'm not losing my mind. I was like, he shouldn't be here. Gil? Gil was peeking into the kitchen, watching the twins cook something. What brings you? I stopped suddenly recalling it was Friday. Gil came to the church every Friday. Oh. Wednesdays are for Dante's and Fridays are for Gil's. I don't know why I put S's on Dante and Gil. Whatever. I forgot it's already Friday today.
ああ、せっかく来たんだし、あんたの顔も見ていこうかと思ったんだが。
Are you guys cooking something? As thanks? Faye and Lon were humming happily as they heated up the oil in the pan.
なあ、あれ、あのままでいいのか?
They insisted, Gil. I offered to help, but they just told me they'd take care of it.
ああ、不吉な予感がするぜ。
I'm sure it'll be fine. Gil and I watched from afar as the twins continued cooking.
じゃじゃーん。じゃじゃじゃーん。
What'd you make? Faye and Lon slammed down the huge dish in front of our eyes.
なんだこれ。呪いの老人形ってやつか?
Cursed voodoo heads? They don't look like cursed voodoo heads. Gil. Look, this could very well be just like a food I've never seen before. What worries me is what looks like they drew a cloud coming up from the food to make it seem like it's like gross.
失礼しちゃう。呪わないもん。ほんと、どこが老人形に見えたの？目大丈夫？それとも脳悪い？どこからどう見ても完璧なごま団子。
I'm not even gonna try and say that.
知ってるのか?
Are they sweets from China? They seem to be quite popular. But I thought they were more round. Or is it just me? I love how the intimidating music playing in the background. Is that because it's just so wrong and they did such a bad job and now we're expected to eat it?
丸くないのもあるよ。これアレンジ失敗したわけじゃない。
Oh, I'm sure.
さあ、遠慮しないで食べるといい。僕たちの優しさに。
お、 急に腹の調子が悪いが俺は食えそうにねえな。
Gil, you can't leave this all on me.
犯罪組織の頭ってみんな嘘つきなの？今のすごい棒読みだったよ。
別にレッドフォードに作ってあげたわけじゃないからね。あげ
No, Gil, please. Don't make me eat this on my own.
ないよ。ねえ、あなたは食べてくれるでしょ？
やめとけ。あんたの身に何かあるとみんなが悲しむんだぞ。
This is reminding me so much of Persona 4. The, like, if you played that mystery food X, like, every time most of the females in that game cook, it just turns out horrible. And the guys are like, don't do it. Please. If you value your life, don't eat it. They always end up, like, fainting on the ground. But they did come here to make it for me. Grassy! I ate one of them whole. That was bold, Lily. One whole.
どう？結構いい感じでしょ。僕たちが作った団子美味しいよね。
If this scene doesn't end with just like a thud noise and fading to black, I'm gonna be very disappointed.
大丈夫か？飲み込むな、吐き出せ。
失礼しちゃうよ。レッドフォードは黙ってなさいよ。
It's good. Is it, Lily? Despite its appearance, it was nice and flaky. The inside was hot and soft. Oh, that's lame. You ruined the scene. Okay, I don't like this scene. You had set it for the perfect comedy moment, and then it was just fine. And now I'm just describing food like I always do in this game. I don't know why I'm so disappointed that the scene went this way and it's not horrible, but I am. My disappointment is immeasurable. The black filling had a subtle sweetness. The overall balance was exquisite. It was awful. It was the most rancid thing I've ever ate.
聞いたフェイ。美味しいって。
嬉しいね、ラン。僕たちのごま団子食べてくれたの。
I'm the first?
僕たち料理は全然ダメだけど、ごま団子だけはすごく得意なんだよ。
Lily, we may die.
けどみんなどうしてか信じてくれないの？食べる前から逃げられるよ。
ヤンも嫌がるよね。別に甘いもの嫌いじゃないくせにね。
Even he's like, no, absolutely not.
ほんとひどいよ。ちょっとくらい食べてくれてもいいのにね。
We don't know that yet. I see. Well, to be honest, I didn't expect such a delicate taste from its appearance. It was really good. Thank you for making them.
どういたしましてだよ。これお近づきの印だからね。
Gil was carefully looking at the balls as if they were explosive.
気になる？レッドフォードも食べたい？
けどダメ。さっき僕たちのことバカにしたからね。
Lon and Faye quickly took the plate away from Gil.
その見た目でうまいとか信じられねえが、そう言われると。
ダメ、あげないよ。
The twins ran around the refectory, protecting the plate from Gil. Without giving up, Gil slowly closed in on the twins and drove them into a corner. Haha. I couldn't help but smile seeing them. Suddenly, the other children came inside, led by the sweet smell. It looked like they were going to have a fun, noisy snack time today. Listen, I'm disappointed. That's not how I wanted that scene to go. It would have been so much... Listen, maybe because I'm used to Persona 4 and just how those scenes play out perfectly, but the perfect way for that scene to have gone would have been for her to eat it, and then, like I said, thud, fade to black, and then we cut to this screen right here. Just ... she's in her bed. That's how I wanted it to go. I couldn't seem to move despite getting ready so early. Hey, maybe it's the desserts? I was just standing at the window looking at the clouds floating in the sky. Darn, it's not. Comedy killed. We were getting closer to the truth, I knew it. But I also know that the truth would probably not be kind. Usually isn't in this game. The seed that brought the town to its current state was probably one that was sown back when tragedy struck this town. Just thinking about it was... Hello, who is it? Yes, come in. Oh,
何
hello.
かあった？いつもより遅いから様子を見に来た。
I'm sorry if I worried you. I was just thinking. If whoever is pulling the strings is doing all this for revenge, I'm sure that the person is feeling deep sorrow and suffering even now. Of course, whoever that is should be punished for what's happening. Or we could run off into the sunset with them and live happily ever after. Consider that. Technically not the ending we're going towards right now, but the next one. Sounds like a good idea, Lily. Orlok quietly looked at me. He then began to speak.
俺はそういう風に考えなかった。街を混乱させてる元凶がいるなら倒せばいいって、そうとしか思ってなかった。情報を集めても考えはなくて。けどあなたはちゃんと感じてた。これが悲しい事件だって。そこで心を動かせるあなたはとても優しい人なんだと思う。
I could tell what Orlok just said was coming from the bottom of his heart. I appreciated his words to me, but I'm probably the minority. Orlok aside, if I said the same to Dante or the others, oh, they would likely reprimand me. A nightmare. Is gonna be Henry having a nightmare again?
ねえリトン、
Yeah.
今日サロンに初めて見る女の人がいたの。
Oh no, is it Dante's mom?
銀髪のすごく綺麗な人だった。
Oh, yup.
ベアトリーチェって言うんですって。
Oh, interesting. So that's where Dante got his hair from, is his mom. I always pictured his dad with the silver hair, but it was actually his mom.
ちょっとお話しして。お互い似ているところもあったりして、私たち気が合いそうねって。そうしたらサロンにシルビオが来て、婚約者だって紹介されたわ。
Yeah, uh-oh.
もうすぐシルビオはベアトリーチェと結婚するんですって。
僕もメイドが言ってたの聞いた。シルビオは周りの反対を押し切ってその人を選んだんだって。
周りの反対を押し切って？
うん。向こうの家が厳しくてマフィアとの結婚なんて認めないって言ったから、ベアトリーチェは自分の家を捨ててここに来たんだって言ってた。
It's kind of like a romantic, star-crossed kind of situation. And then you got this going on under it. Like, oh.
クロエ？
二人の結婚は祝福されていないのね。それならベアトリーチェはシルビオにふさわしくないってことでしょ？
No.
え？
Her family just doesn't want her to marry Mafia.
でも当然だわ。だってシルビオにふさわしいのは私。
クロエ？どうしたの？クロエ。
Chloe's getting a little creepy. I'm starting to be a little afraid of her.
このタイミングで亡くなるなんて、やっぱりあのことが原因よね。
ええ、奥様にあんなことをしたら旦那様だってね。
What? What did she do?
夕食にこっそり毒を持って死体は崖から捨てたんだろうって
What?
庭師が話していたわ。
Did she do something to Dante's mom? Well, that's not true. We know she's not been poisoned. Well, do we know she's not been poisoned? I don't know. But I don't think that's what happened.
本当なのそれ？
I think those are just baseless rumors.
こんなところで立ち話ですか。廊下の掃除は終わっておられるんでしょうね。
ええ、すぐに。
Yeah, I'm not sure if they just mean like, oh, she was jealous and that's what she was like trying to get in the way of their relationship, or if she literally did something to Dante's mom. Hopefully she didn't go like creepy yandere. I hate yanderes. It is interesting though, like what made her snap like that though? I mean, I guess she just loved Silvio that much. Later in the day, I was checking the inventory in the kitchen to see what food supplies we had left. The children have been forcing smiles on their faces. They were doing all they could to try and keep their mind off of the state of the town. If only I could cheer them up. I needed to try to be frugal with the food since I don't know how long this would last. I tried to think of something I could do with my recipes to make them happy. I noticed a presence behind me. I turned around to see Orlok.
子供たちは昼寝してる。今日はたくさん走って遊んだから。
I see. Thank you, Orlok. I was getting used to Orlok appearing suddenly behind me like this. He's like a ghost. His duty was to guard me, but he had been helping me with many things at the church. Yeah, I feel like it'd get kind of boring and a little weird for him to just like stare at me all the time. Oh, speaking of which, Orlok, a question came to mind. About the day when you asked Nicola to guard me in your place. What business were you taking care of? If you can't tell me, I understand. Orlok shook his head.
峡谷のロズベルグ芸家に連絡を取ってた。
Ew, boo, hiss, gross. I hate that man.
実はちょうどそのことであなたに相談したい話がある。
You know, as long as he doesn't want me dead again. As long as he didn't get a prophecy that's like, Liliana Ardonado must die.
芸家は明日ブルローネに来る。
No, I don't want to see him.
も
I
ちろ
hate
ん
him.
お忍び。芸家は立場ある人だから公務として今のブルローネに来ようとすると周囲の猛反対を受けてしまう。俺も町の状況が落ち着いてからの方がいい。そこまで待てないって判断なさった。
I was gonna say, maybe it's for the trial, but I feel like if the trial was tomorrow, Lily would have mentioned that. Is it urgent?
報告書じゃなくて直接俺の言葉で町の状況を聞きたいっておっしゃってた。俺はそこまで急ぎで必要なことじゃないと思うけど芸家のご判断だから。
I see. So, was that what you needed to talk to me about? Do you need to be away
で
again?
きればあなたにも同席してほしい。
Ugh.
芸家への報告に。
Or like, I really don't want to. I hate him. Huh?
芸家は俺以上に鍵の乙女について詳しい知識を持ってると思う。だからあなたが望めばきっといろいろ教えてくれるはず。
Hearing Orlok's words, I have to say that I want to meet him, even though that is a lie, because I hate that man. If it isn't too much trouble, I'd love to hear what Bishop Rosberg has to say.
そう。君が君自身について知ることで、
Yeah, I guess I
お
do
の
need to
ずと
figure
見
that
えて
out.
くるものもあるかもしれない。君を育んだすべてが君に対する助言となる。
よかった。そう言ってもらえて。
Orlok breathed a sigh of relief.
余計なことかと思ったんだけど、きっと聞いておいた方がいいと思って。芸家には話してある。だから大丈夫。
Thank you, Orlok. I'm happy he went to the trouble just for me. I wondered what Bishop Rosberg knew about the Key Maiden. The day finally arrived. Orlok set the meeting for early in the morning so that we could meet in secrecy. Oh, I thought it was late at night at first. I guess kind of the same thing. Things were chaotic day and night, but the early morning hours were relatively quiet. Orlok led me to the ruins located on the hills outside of town. Many people avoided coming here because of rumors of the Grim Reaper appearing.
この遺跡はファルツォーネが守る聖遺物が眠ってる場所。
He held my hand and explained as we headed towards the ruins.
使徒としてブルローネに来た俺はここの管理もしてた。不老者の住処になると困るし、万が一にでも遺跡や聖遺物に何かあると。
Ah, so this is where Jesus is. Orlok glanced over his shoulder and looked at me with gentle eyes.
あなたの使命の話をするなら、きっとここは他のどこよりふさわしい。
Here with Jesus in our presence. A single man stood inside. The elderly man wore a fine robe and had a very dignified presence, and looked like a dick.
リリアーナ・アドルナートか。
Asshole, I presume.
私はヨゼフ・フ
Oh,
ォ
I
ン・
know.
ロズベルグ、教国にて使徒を導く立場にいる。
I'm pleased to meet you, Bishop Rosberg. Thank you for coming all this way. Especially with how dangerous it is now.
いや、家中の者に迫る危険は私への非ではない。
Bishop Rosberg looked straight at me as he began to speak.
教国は今、ファルツォーネに、この地のマフィアに事態の収拾を託すしかない。教国は神の教えを信じぬ者には無力だ。
Those who do not believe. You said not twice.
今、この地において我々にできることは限りなく少ない。どうか許してくれ、鍵の乙女。
You should ask for forgiveness for trying to kill me in another timeline.
運命の名のもとに使命を負わせ、さらに重責を課す我々を。
You know what else is very burdening? Trying to kill me. Bishop Rosberg. I could tell he was sincere, and that his apology came from the bottom of his heart. I'm powerless too. I feel that I'm only the key maiden in title, but nothing more. I love the people of this town. I loved seeing everyone live together in harmony before, smiling at one another.
だが、今のブルローネは人と人とが憎しみ合うようになってしまった。
I look upon you with hatred in my eyes. Which is why I want to do what I can to help and reach out to those in need. Even if hatred was the cause of everything, I wanted to do what I could to help the people who felt this way.
ゲイカ、どうか彼女に鍵の乙女の真実を。彼女はその使命にふさわしい女性です。真実を知る資格があります。
いいだろう。
Bishop Rosberg nodded in agreement, then began to speak about the Key Maiden. The first thing that he said was that the lore related to the Key Maiden and the town hadn't been fully shared with the Falzone family. It had been passed down through the generations, but Bishop Rosberg disclosed that it was his fault that the truth had not been passed on to the current generation. Which means that the current boss, Dante, was unaware of the truth behind the lore of the Key Maiden. He's unaware of the Wii Tennis. So does that mean you know about the Wii Tennis, Bishop Rosberg? The first Falzone brought the relic to Berlone. He brought the body. The body of Christ. They later became its keepers, and were given the keys to heaven in exchange for its protection. The keys to heaven, belonging to those who were given the power to break the seal with Wii Tennis. Is he gonna tell me that? The relic was sealed away so that it could be kept safe from the abuse of non-believers. But if calamity or war struck the land, the relic may need to be moved to another location to protect it. Quick! Oh god, guys, we gotta be fast. Calamity and war has struck the land. Let's break the seal. Let's play Wii Tennis. Hence, the way to break the seal was passed through the generations to fulfill that duty. Are you gonna tell me the way? Breaking this seal to the relic required something else, though. Yeah? It required the Falzone's rightful heir and the Key Maiden to receive the 8th sacrament. Receive the 8th sacrament is, I don't know if that's the way you want to word it. Or like, perform the 8th sacrament. The seal to the relic could be broken by offering their blood to the ruins altar. Okay, you're lying to me. Literally? You're lying to me because that's not it. It was not the blood. Bishop Rosberg paused for a moment.
今はすでに失われている第8の秘跡。これは伝えられない。
Oh, okay. He doesn't know what the 8th sacrament is. Okay, I thought they were saying that the 8th sacrament was offering the blood. No. So I was like, that's not true. I know what it is.
封印を解く儀は非常事態のための備えだ。この
Quick,
万が
it's an
一は
emergency.
決し
We
てあ
have
ってはな
to.
らないもの。
This is the funniest thing in this game to me. I hope you guys know. It's so funny. It's never, like, what the 8th sacrament is never brought up in other routes. They don't know. Like, we brought it up once. We don't need to bring it up again.
そしてもう一つ。鍵の乙女とは無作為に選ばれた存在ではない。 ファルツォーネの後継者と運命を共にする。結ばれる可能性の高い娘を先生術により導く。
Dante, our fates are tied. Tied to fate? Orlok held his breath. It seemed he had also never heard that before.
だが、星は移ろいやすいもの。些細なことで、その巡りが大きく変わってしまうこともある。今代の当主は、この知識を得ていないようだが、我々からもまだ伝えるつもりはない。
You mean I can't tell him what the eighth sacrament is? Listen, I want a scene where, I mean, we kind of had it in his route, but I want a scene where Dante is flat out told what is required to break the seal, because I think his reaction would be so funny. Like, can you imagine his reaction to that? Like, he would die. It would be so funny.
ファルツォーネがこの地の守護者としてふさわしいと見定められるまで。
Did the previous head of the Falzone family know all this?
ああ、当然知っていただろう。
All Orlok and I could do was listen in awe at Bishop Rosberg's words. Did Chloe know this? Because that could be why she's like, we're like meant to be. The stars determined the Key Maiden. And it seemed that there had been many other Key Maidens before
こ
me.
れらの話は教国でも秘匿とされている。私もつい最近まで全容を知らなかった。教国にはファルツォーネと対をなす伝承を守護する一族が存在してい
Is
る。
that Emilio? Bishop Rosberg's words brought the image of the young boy I met at the church to mind. Yep.
ファルツォーネと同じく古き伝承を守っている一族の末裔。
彼らはファルツォーネの一族を見守り、同時に鍵の乙女の選定を行っている。彼ら以外でこの地の伝承を熟知しているのは教国の主である聖火だけだろう。
Oh, Bishop Rosberg. About the clan protecting the traditions.
そうとも、僕のことだよ。
Oh, hey, Emilio. You're here.
久しぶりだね。君の顔が見たくなったから、
リリー、彼と会ったこ
I'll
と
kill
が。
him if I have to. It's fine, Orlok. Stand down. I nodded to Orlok, who was looking at him cautiously. He asked me not to talk about him.
大事なところは大体よぜ。ロズベルグ卿から聞いたかな。もっとも、彼にそれを教えてあげたのは僕なのだけれど。
Emilio looked at me. His eyes looked upon me calmly, as if seeing straight through me at someone
クロ
else.
エにはかわいそうなことをした。彼女は確かに鍵の乙女だったよ。けれど、彼女を示す星はやがて移ろってしまった。星の動きを変えることは誰にもできない。ファルツォーネに新たな後継者が生まれたら、星もまた時代の鍵の乙女を求めて瞬き始めるものだから。
So Chloe was no longer the Key Maiden when Dante was born? I wondered if Chloe knew that. No, even if she did know that, she wouldn't have given up.
リリアーナ、僕は心から君に、そしてこの町のマフィアたちに激励を送るよ。僕たちのためにもよく頑張ってほしい。彼らからの上納金を失うと教国も困るからね。
Huh?
ブルローネという資金源を失うのは教国にとってもただごとじゃない。もしかすると国土を維持できなくなってイタリア王国に吸収されてしまうかも。
That's quite a thing to say. Strange, considering all that talk about miracles, the stars and everything divine. Seeing my confusion, he
権
smiled.
威を維持するには先立つものが必要不可欠だ。これも時代の流れだよ。昔に比べて今は信仰が薄い人が増えているからね。教国は地上における代行者。神の教えを広め人を救うための組織。広く信仰を守っていくためにも僕たちはどんな手段を使ってでもこの器を維持していかなくては。
Despite his youthful looks, His words and very present was like that of an elderly man, because I think he is. He's like hundreds of years old. How many times have I said this? Based on his words, Emilio doesn't mind us dying for God or for fate. He may see our deaths as a worthy sacrifice. I doubt he would even flinch. At the very least, his words imparted that what he said was very true to his will. Bishop Rosberg gave a sigh, then spoke to us again.
時期夜明けが来る。人が目覚める前に教会へ戻るといい。
Bishop Rosberg walked us out of the ruins, seeing us off. Thank you very much for sharing all this information. Bishop Rosberg closed his eyes with a hint of distress and spoke.
暴力は本来、いついかなる時も、マフィアとなった彼らに生物を託し続けるという成果のご判断を、私は誤りだと考えていた。この地に眠る生物が重要であるほど、教国の手によって保護されるべきだと。
And have you die.
だが、過去に起きた奇跡を真実と信じるなら、
I don't have the
私
right
に
to
彼らを
come
裁
up with
定
fake
する権
prophecies.
利はなかったな、オルロック。
はい。
私はお前に使徒という使命を与えた。
この地に眠る生物、そして鍵の乙女を守る。
いや、本来、使徒の役割というの
Murder?
はそれだけではなかった。使徒とは、ファルツォーネへ正しい知識を伝える導き手でもある。
But also murder.
しかし、私はそれをねじ曲げた。彼らを信用できなかったばかりに。
Because I am a jerk.
私はお前のことをも騙していたのだ。オルロック。
You deceived Orlok kind of a lot. You're kind of awful to him. I really can't bring myself to be like, oh, what a nice moment. Look, he's like apologizing for him. Like, you took this boy in and like deceived him his entire life and made him murder people. You know? I think you got a bit more apologizing and atonement to do. Orlok looked at Bishop Rosberg, who had lowered his head in apology. After a moment of silence, Orlok spoke.
俺は陛下に感謝してます。人は悩むもの、間違うことだってある。だけど誤りを認めるのは難しい。そう教えてくれたのはあなたです。
Wouldn't Rosberg have been the one to tell Orlok to kill Dante's dad?
俺がまだ文字も読めなかった頃、陛下。
覚えていたのか。
忘れたことはないです。陛下にしてもらったことは全部。
I keep cutting Orlok off. I'm sorry, he's doing the thing where I think he's done talking and he's not.
信じてきたものが間違ってたって、そう認められる陛下はやっぱりとても素晴らしい方だって俺はそう思います。
Listen, I still feel real icky about this scene.
オルロック。
Because I know how horrible he really truly is deep down. Bishop Rosberg's face twisted in anguish as he tried to find the words to say.
俺はあまり言葉がうまくないけど伝えたい。俺は不幸じゃないって。
I mean, I guess I can be happy that he's like less of a dick than before, but I still don't like you at all.
陛下に会わなければ生きてない。使徒の使命も呪ったことはない。こうして鍵の乙女のリリーのそばで彼女を守ることができて、俺はとても幸せです。
Orlok placed his hand over his heart to show Bishop Rosberg his respect.
陛下が使命を与えてくれなければ彼女とも会えてないから、この胸にあるのは感謝です。本当にありがとうございます。
そう。
Bishop Rosberg breathed a deep sigh. He looked both tired and relieved hearing Orlok's words.
リリアーナ・アドルナートよ。鍵の乙女とは大切な役割だ。
Yes, it is.
しかし、尊い使命だからといって、背負って当然だなどと言えるわけがない。重荷は重荷だ。自分自身が知りもしない宿命に振り回されるあなたたちに、私は同情さえ感じていた。
Oh, yeah, when did you feel sorry for me? Was that before or after you decided that you weren't gonna kill me?
それでも彼女は顔を上げてます。今もずっと前に進み続けてる。
ああ、だから星はあなたという女性を鍵の乙女に選んだのだろう。
So when I wrote like Yang's, do the stars shift and I'm not the key maiden anymore? I don't know what to say. Being the key maiden doesn't feel like much. All I was doing was trying to live my life. That hadn't and wouldn't
あ
change.
なたは鍵の乙女に選ばれるだけの理由がある人だって俺も思ってる。単なる星の気まぐれじゃない。あなたの輝きを星が見つけたんだ。
Orlok, I still couldn't believe that I was someone worthy of such a grand mission. But I at least knew his faith in me was true, and the feeling was warm in my heart.
リリアーナ、やはりあなたは特別な力を持った女性なのだろう。
Huh?
この数ヶ月でオルロックは少し変わった。あなたと直接関わるようになってからだ。私に対してこれだけはっきりと内心を明かしてくれたのは初めてだ。幼少より常に従順で、そして何より感情を見せない子だった。
それはしてはいけないのかと思ってたから。でも彼女は素直に教えてくれた。嬉しいとか悲しいとか気持ちを一緒にいて、それが嬉しかったから俺も少しだけ真似してみた。
Bishop Rosberg gave a warm smile. Orlok straightened himself up and looked at him as he promised.
ゲイカ、この地の争いが終わるまで俺は彼女を守り抜きます。あなたに与えられた使命を立派に果たしてみせます。
Bishop Rosberg nodded as at Orlok's promise, not
使
as.
徒オルロックよ。神の名のもとに己が使命を果たせ。
かしこまりました、ゲイカ。必ず。
Bishop Rosberg smiled. It seemed like Orlok was looking at him with a smile as well. Oh, we then made our way back from the ruins. Soon. Soon, what will happen soon? Oh, we're right back here. Is it Bishop Rosberg? The Key Maiden, Liliana, and Orlok had left the ruins.
言わなくてよかったのかな、ヨゼフ。
Telling them what? Emilio was standing next to me with a smile on his face. I shook my head quietly.
今はまだ話すべきではない。私はオルロックに使徒という役目を課した。これ以上彼が背負うものを増やしたくはない。
無理もないか。彼は近畿の子供だからね。
What are you referring to?
けれどヨゼフ、今でなくともいつか必ず君にはその責任があるのだから。
時が来れば。
I couldn't see them anymore. They had disappeared into the forest. But I still could not remove my gaze from the place I had last seen them.
それにしても堅物の君が禁忌を犯すくらいなのだから、彼の母親はきっと素晴らしい人だったのだろうね。
I smiled at his impertinence. There was nothing for me to hide. I decided to speak about her. I hadn't done so since her
あ
passing.
れは優しく強い女だった。私よりもずっとな。
オルロックはどちらに似たのだろうね。
さあどうだろうか。私は彼に対して向き合わずに来た。あの子のことは何も知らないも同然だ。だが先ほどの様子を見ても以前の彼とは 違うらしいということはわかる。これまで私が抑えてきてしまったオルロックらしさが、自我も感情も望みも、これから自由に育てばいいと思っている。我ながら勝手な考えだとは思うが。
人間なんてみんな勝手なものだよ。けれど僕にはわかる。オルロックの変化も君の変化もそう悪いものじゃないってね。
そうだといいが。
I let out a small smile. I'm really not sure what they were referring to there. Like, you're gonna have to tell them. Tell them what? I'm sure it's something from Orlok's route that I already know, but I don't know what exactly it was. We then made our way back from the ruins. The sun was shining bright upon us by the time we got back to the church. Thank you, Orlok. He tilted his head and looked at me curiously. I continued. The answer is for saying that you'll protect me. You said you'd protect me, right? You said you would be happy doing so, too. I still didn't think I was really worth much to the others. But I wanted to become worthy of being the Key Maiden in response to his goodwill.
さっきのは嘘偽りない本心だけど、本当はちょっとだけ違う。この事件が終わるまでじゃなくて、これからもずっとあなたを守りたい。ゲイカも俺にとって守りたい人だけど、心から尊敬してるけど、もし叶うなら全てが終わってからも俺は人として。
He closed his eyes without finishing. Thank you. I give him my heartfelt thanks, seeing how passionate he was about what he believed in. Orlok and I parted ways as I returned to my room. I sat on my bed and tried to remember what Bishop Rosberg and Emilio said. The Key Maiden is to be tied in fate with the Falzone heir. Oh, we're meant to be, Dante! Dante doesn't know that, but his father did. If so, then the previous Key Maiden, Chloe, must have known so as well. Yeah, that explains her behavior.
私とシルビオは結婚するの？だってそうなる運命なんですもの。
I like how we're flashing back to this as if I literally witnessed it myself. Was that what she meant? Maybe Chloe was simply shackled to the idea of destiny. Just thinking about it made me feel somewhat sorry for her. Yeah, maybe she maybe she thought she loved Silvio, but it's more so like she got caught up in this idea of like her destiny and stuff. It had been a week since Dante came to the church to pray. Does that mean he's back? Wednesday had arrived again. Wednesdays are Dante days. Hello, my angel. Buongiorno, Dante. I greeted Dante at the church. He gently responded.
Buongiorno. いい朝だな。変わりなかったか。
Ah, the things you do to me. This man, just him looking at me like that. Ah, I can't. Just fine. Everyone from your family has been so helpful. They've brought food and supplies we needed and have even been guarding us as well. Thank you, Dante. We owe you a debt of gratitude.
当然のことをしているだけだ。俺たちの問題で神の家に不都合が出るのを見過ごすわけにはいかない。今後も必要なものがあれば遠慮なく言え。すぐに手配して届けさせる。
How about your hand in marriage? Thank you for... Who are you arguing with, Leo? Dante frowned and rubbed his forehead, hearing the hearty, loud voice.
別に
Orlok?
バカにはしてない。俺は本当のことを言っただけ。
What did you say to him, Orlok?
ファルツォーネの構成員が何人いたって俺一人にはかなわないって。
Listen, you're good, but I don't know if you're that good. Like, yeah, you can get into the Falzone and like infiltrate and like hurt them pretty good, but I mean, you didn't take down the entire Lao Shu. You took down a good bit of them. You're good, Orlok. You are. But I don't know if you could do more than every single member of the Falzone family combined. That's a tall, high statement.
いや、それバカにしてるだろ絶対。俺たちをなめるなよオルロック。
だから彼女をファルツォーネの屋敷に連れて行きたいって。
Orlok, I wanna go there.
それは認められない。あの屋敷よりも今はこの教会の方が守りやすい。
いやだからオルロックは俺たちがどれだけすごいか分かっての。
レオ、いい加減にしろ。
Stop arguing.
車に戻れ。それともファルツォーネの格はまだ下げ足りないか。
いえ、先に戻ってますねカポ。そんなわけでまたなオルロック。
Leo paled as he quickly ran past me back to the car. It's like, Dante let out a deep sigh, then looked at Orlok.
部下の比例を浴びる。
大丈夫、気にしてない。
そうか。
Neither of them said much, but they seemed to have no problem communicating. Maybe these two actually get
引
along.
き続き彼女の護衛を頼む。
Let me tell you, these two will not get along if Dante finds out what Orlok did. Then it's just a real hot mess.
分かった。
After his brief talk with Orlok, Dante turned around toward me.
また来る。水曜か。そうでなければ夜に。
I will be waiting for you. Understood. Please be careful, Dante. Oh my god. Oh my god. Remember, think about the hand in marriage. Think about it. Please. Bye. Dante smiled a little and nodded, turning away and walking to the car. I love you. I wouldn't have imagined. I feel better every time I speak with Dante like this. Me too. I felt a bit of regret not being able to speak with him for longer.
今日は何をする？俺に手伝えることがあるなら何でも言ってほしい。
Thank you, but I have to apologize. You're supposed to be my guard, but I kept asking for your help.
構わない。教国の教えを伝える教会は俺にとっても大切な場所だから。それにあなたの力になれるのは嬉しい。もちろん任務が最優先だから護衛の邪魔にならない範囲でだけど。
Thank you, Orlok. Well, would you mind helping me prepare the breakfast for today
分
then?
かった。料理はしたことないけど。
Then let's do it together. It's pretty fun preparing the dishes. Orlok and I continued conversation as we walked to the kitchen. My mind continued to think about what was happening, even with night upon us. Chloe loved Silvio. She thought she was destined to be with him. Her younger brother is Henry. Maybe his fate was warped by the Falzone family's mission. He lost his parents and his only sister. I wonder, did he live alone all this time? Can we see him? You know, before I have to end the video. Oh, night fell and the people of the town were in their homes and beds. Oh, another nightmare. Not exactly what I meant when I said I wanted to see him. I meant like I wanted to literally interact with him.
お医者様を急いで。
What happened?
ねえクロエ、どうしてあんなことしたの？
So she did do something to Dante's mom. What did you do?
あんなこと？あんなことって？
あの人を階段から突き落とした。
Okay, you did get a little yandere. A little. Chloe.
だってシルビオと結ばれるのは彼に本当にふさわしいのは。
違うよ。シルビオはクロエじゃなくてあの人を選んだんだよ。
リトンまで何を言っているの？シルビオは私のものよ。そう決まっているの。だって星が。
They said that the star said that you're bound to him via Wii tennis. It doesn't necessarily mean that like he's like your soulmate.
でもクロエ、
Supposed to be together
僕
romantically.
たちきっともうファルツォーネにはいられないよ。さっき話してるのが聞こえた。この屋敷にクロエと僕がいるのは 良くないことなんだって。
You kind of blew it, Chloe.
ここから
by doing
離れた
that.
方がクロエのため。
嘘。
嘘よ、そんなの。リトンなんて嫌い。出て行って。
Hey, he didn't do anything.
クロエ。
I heard the adults talking.
あの子が見つかった。町外れの崖の下で。
There it is.
海を見に行って足を滑らせたのか？それとも自分から？気立てのいい子だと思ってたんだが、どうしてあんなことに？普通の女の子がマフィアに関わったのが間違いだったってか？いや、そもそもこの町に来たことが彼女にとっちゃ間違いだったんだろう。
クロエ、どうして。クロエ。
銃で撃ち殺されたんでしょ。眉間を一発。粛清だって言って。
おい。で、邪魔になったんだろうな。死因はナイフで一突き。だとよ。
That's how rumors go. Everyone's got a different account, and none of it's what actually happened.
夕食にこっそり毒を持って。死体は崖から捨てたんだろうって庭師が話していたわ。
シルビオってとっても素敵な人だったわ。ここは素敵な場所ね。みんな優しくて温かいわ。私これからがとっても楽しみ。痛くないわけないでしょ。ほら、こんなに晴れて街並みは綺麗で住む人も優しくて、私ブルローネが大好きになったわ。
Oh. Good morning. I awoke from a bad dream. Sweat clung to my entire body. My head felt like it was splitting. Yeah, my heart was pounding. I grabbed hold of my chest. I knew I shouldn't be doing this. I knew very well I shouldn't, but my legs were leading me there. Well, see, now I can't end the video here. Listen, we might have an extra long one. It doesn't matter. I know he's on his way. As usual, I headed down to the church to lock the doors. Just when I was about to close them, I noticed a shadow moving behind the church. Is someone going to the graveyard? Maybe I'll go take a look. Is that you, Henry? Could it be? Before I knew it, I ran the shadow. Or I ran after the shadow. I ran the shadow. Henry. I called out the shadow's name. Hey! He looked at me gently, as if he was relieved to see me. I took a deep breath before speaking. Did you come tonight to pay your respects?
答えてほしい。
What are you gonna ask me? He replied with a sudden request. Huh?
私の思考は堂々巡りを続けるばかりだ。答えを見つけても、どうか相談に乗ってくれないか。
I nodded at his request as I looked into his eyes, bearing a faint light within them. Yes, what is it that you need? I had no idea why, but something didn't feel right. Henry looked like he was suffering badly tonight.
これはただの例え話だけれど、傷つけられた者が傷つけた者に報復する。それは許されることだと思うかい？
I guess it depends on the situation. Revenge? I was flustered by his unexpected question. Henry continued.
傷つけられたことは紛れもない事実だ。彼はその悲劇を忘れたことがない。胸に刺さったトゲの痛みに苛まれる。過去は消えず、彼を苦しめ続ける。彼が救われるためには、復讐を遂げるしかないのではないか。過去を断ち切り、解放されるためには、すべてを破壊するしかないだろう。そう。おそらくは自分自身さえ、もしこの復讐劇に巻き込まれたとしたら、君はどうする？
I I'd probably stop him. He frowned, hearing my honest opinion.
神の名のもとに贖罪を求めるかい？しかし、彼は止められないよ。
No one? You mean even the person himself? Henry didn't answer my question.
君に復讐したいわけではない。君はあくまで状況を握る鍵だ。
His words weren't hypothetical at all. This isn't about himself. Or this is about himself. I was about to be like, yes it is.
君を傷つけたいわけではない。
Henry let out a deep sigh.
復讐は愚かな行いだ。知っているとも。しかし、彼はそのために手を汚した。さまざまな罪を犯した。たとえ自分を突き動かしているものが、憎しみなのかさえわからなくなっても。
He spoke bitterly. He asked me his question again with a weak smile on his face.
君はどうする？哀れな彼を許せるかい？
I reply, okay. Yeah, I kind of figured this would be... Oh, I had to say I couldn't forgive him, right? Let me make sure I read that right. I couldn't. And this is... Yeah, okay. I can't decide. It's not my place to determine if he can be forgiven or not. If what he's done is seen as a sin by the world, then...
そうとも。世界は彼を責めるだろう。
I couldn't get myself to say that I could forgive him.
君が悲しむ必要はないよ。君は正しい。私の答えも同じだ。彼は永遠に許されることがない。
You are so interesting. Henry?
彼女を救うこともできない。できるのは、この悲劇を終わらせることだけ。
He smiled gently at me, but his eyes were devoid of light. The despair in his eyes were looking at someone beyond me. And without another word, Henry quietly left. Oh, I looked at his silhouette as his silhouette disappeared into the depths of the night. Old friend. See, I'm trying to end the video, and now you're throwing a meanwhile at me. Oh, with Nicola. Wait, what? He slowed down as he approached me. It looked like he was trying to pass by me without acknowledging my presence.
どうして声をかけてくれないの？
挨拶が必要なのかい？
Nicola. You two were friends, weren't you?
夜道でマフィアに会ったら目を伏せて足早に通り過ぎるっていうのは立派な処世術かもしれない。だけど僕が言いたいのはもちろんそういうことじゃなくて、この町に戻ってきたのなら一言声をかけてくれてもいいんじゃないかってこと。
Does Nicola know?
それとも僕のことなんてすっかり忘れてしまった？
Oh,
昔は
he
よ
knows.
く遊んでくれたのに。
さあ、何のことを言っているのか。
久しぶりの再会なのに釣れないね。僕も幼かったからしばらく忘れていたけど、もう思い出した。
That means Nicola would have pieced the whole thing together because he knows that Raton is the director. And now if he knows that Henry is Raton, therefore is the director, Nicola knows it all.
元気そうだね、リートン。
I smiled at him, and in return, he looked at me quietly with soulless eyes. Oh, and that's where they're ending that? I wonder how that conversation's gonna go. Okay, that is so interesting. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and end today's video here. I'm glad I went and did that little bit of scene at the end because that was so interesting. I was worried there'd be, yet again, no Henry. Just like the last video, I was worried the whole time, like, oh man, we're not gonna get Henry. That's hard to say, any Henry. And then he showed up at the very end. And, I mean, it was very brief in the last video, but that's what happened again today, and we got some interesting stuff, which, like, thank God, because there's a lot of Rosberg in this video, and you know I hate him, even if he's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm like, okay, I still hate you. So, you know, I'm glad I got some Henry, and that was such an interesting scene. My feelings on this route are so conflicted because it's like, I mean, I guess you could count this as Henry's route still too, like I've said multiple times, because you can go back to, I think, chapter 8 and then switch to his romantic route, and so it's like everything's sort of the same leading up to it, but it does still feel like he's getting gypped. So like, I'm disappointed in that sense that it feels like Henry is getting gypped out of a real route, but like also the plot and everything that's happening is very interesting, and it is kind of nice that every character is sort of getting like a wrap up. I guess it feels like Rosberg and Orlok had theirs in this video, and also there's just like the whole story with Chloe and Silvio and Raton / Henry is really interesting, and like the more we learn about it, the more intrigued I get. I did not know that Chloe, or I did not guess. I couldn't have known, but I wouldn't have guessed that Chloe like tried to do something to Dante's mom. That's wow, that's interesting. I got real dark there. So yeah, that was an interesting one. I'm really excited to continue next time and see where this is all gonna go. That scene where Nicola figured out who Henry was, like Nicola, he knows it all, right? Like we did determine that the director is Raton. Like, I'm pretty sure that was the connection that was made. I mean, if he has the picture. Yeah, we know that. Therefore, Nicola... Oh my god, when's it gonna get back to Lily is my question. Because if Nicola figured out who Henry is, like, that's gonna get back to Lily, and then she's gonna realize that he's the director. Like, oh my god. It's so interesting. I cannot wait. I can't believe it says a few days has passed. I'm kind of shocked. Like, a few days had passed when Nicola knows everything. Has Nicola told the others? Has he told Dante? Does Dante know? I don't know. I'm so excited. I'm sad I have to end this video here. But okay, I'm gonna go ahead and go. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!